Hey everyone, good to see you again. Tryouts are going really well, except for that, as you can see, it's pretty intense. But the kids, they're doing great. They're really making awesome progress, all the new recruits. As you can see, my cleats, I really have no cleats anymore. They've worn out completely. That's why I slipped. If you've played a sport for any long period of time, you know that your gear wears out. Your shoes, your uniforms, and eventually they have to be replaced. And just like as Christians, there are certain traits that have to be, old traits that have to be replaced with new ones. And that reminds me of our Bible story today. So let's listen and learn together. Why does the church exist? That's our big picture question of the month. The answer is the church exists to glorify God by worshiping Him, showing His love, and telling others about Jesus.
Paul became a Christian a few years after Jesus died and rose again. He joined the early church and traveled around sharing the gospel with others. Paul often wrote letters to churches when he was away from them. In his letter to the church at Colossae, Paul explained how people should live as followers of Jesus.
As you receive Jesus Christ as Lord, continue to live in Him, Paul wrote. Build your life on Him. Be strong in your faith and always be thankful. Paul told the believers to be careful about who they listen to. Sometimes the words of the world sound good and right, but they are not based on God's truth. Jesus died to set us free from the ways of the world.
Paul wrote, "Think about godly things, not earthly things. When you trusted in Jesus, you died with Him. Now you live in Him. So turn away from the ways of the world. Put away anger, wrath, hatred, lies, and filthy language from your mouth. Do not lie to one another. You used to live this way, but Jesus has given you a new life."
Paul said that God is making us more like Jesus. In this new life, no one is more important than anyone else. We all belong to Jesus. Paul wrote, "You are God's chosen one, holy and dearly loved. Put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with one another and forgive one another, because the Lord has forgiven you. Above all, put on love. Let the peace of Jesus rule your hearts and be thankful."
Paul encouraged believers to remember Jesus' teachings and obey them, teaching and encouraging one another. Sing to God with thankfulness in your hearts, Paul wrote. Children, obey your parents because this pleases God. And whatever you do everything in the name of Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through Him.
God changes us when we trust in Jesus. He adopts us into His family and makes us new. Jesus calls us to turn away from our sinful ways and live in a way that honors Him.